Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. I am going to go ahead and turn off my camera just because I'm going to be looking at this other screen here. Hopefully, everybody can see my screen. Um, this is what's new in eBook Central. We're going to cover Research Assistant and EPUB Preferred. There has been a lot happening in eBook Central lately, and we have even more stuff coming up soon. So you'll be getting some more information. June 16th is launching our eBook Central app, although institutions don't have to go live with the app on June 16th. That's just kind of when it's rolling out. And I believe they're going to possibly do this in waves. You'll be able to determine when you want your institution to switch over to the eBook Central app. But more information on that is coming, but it is exciting because they've been working on the app for a couple of years now. So that will be launching very soon. But today we're going to be talking about Research Assistant and EPUB Preferred. I do have some slides, but we will jump over into the live demo to see these things in action. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat, and there'll be some time at the end if you have questions. We can address those then as well. So let me just have to get to my correct window here. Just one second. Okay, and just a brief introduction. My name is Lori Hetrick, and I am a customer success manager with Clarivate, which actually ProQuest is now a part of Clarivate. So I joined ProQuest in August of 2022. I did get my MLS from the University of Kentucky. And before joining Clarivate, I did work in both academic and public libraries, but mostly academic libraries. So just some objectives for today's session. We're going to learn how Clarivate is harnessing AI capabilities to empower users to enhance student learning and streamline research, boost information literacy, and increase engagement with the ebook Central Collection. So being a part of the academic community, Clarivate has an important role to play in designing and applying AI tools responsibly. So Clarivate is committed to providing tools that institutions and users can trust, to be transparent about the opportunities, but also the risks of AI. And as always, follow academic principles and standards. So by that, we aim to provide customers with more opportunities to uphold research integrity and develop students' learning skills. And ebook Central Research Assistant is probably not the first research assistant you've seen. Previously, I did a session on the research assistant that is now available on the ProQuest platform in some of our larger databases, such as ProQuest Central. And your institution may have some of those ProQuest One products like ProQuest One Academic, ProQuest One Business. So you're seeing the research assistant in there as well. They work a little bit differently. And also, if your institution has Web of Science, you may be seeing research assistant in Web of Science as well. So a lot of research assistants have been launched within the past year. So eBook Central Research Assistant, some benefits for students and libraries. Again, to streamline research, students can swiftly evaluate books and determine, how do I know if this is the right book or the right chapter for me? It can enhance information literacy. So with contextual explanations, students gain a better understanding of complex topics, boosting comprehension and retention of material. And then also increase engagement. So it encourages longer reading times, downloads, copy, and print, which that really helps libraries to get the most out of their holdings. So eBook Central Research Assistant was designed, again, to support research and learning and not to replace it. Just some few points here. It is currently available in beta. So it's not there's no extra cost, but it is still in beta. So you may see as this goes along, you may see some changes. And I'll also show you how you can submit your feedback as well. It has been automatically enabled for all customers. So you're probably seeing it now, but libraries can choose to disable it, and I will talk a little bit about that too. And an insights is generated exclusively from trusted scholarly ebook central content, not the breadth of the library's collection. And you'll see that the responses are actually based on the actual book chapter itself. Uh, AI insights are not generated at the search level. The assistant supports lateral searching on the concepts generated within each chapter, and we'll take a look at how that works as well. And this is currently only available on ebook central books that your institution subscribes to or your institution owns. So for example, the subscription titles that you get through NC Live, you will see the research assistant available on those titles. And this does not support conversational queries, so our users aren't asking questions, or you're not chatting with the research assistant. And again, we'll take a look at that live as well. And somebody asked, how does it encourage longer reading times? When we get into the demo, we'll kind of show you. It's more, typically users, what we see as a user goes into a book, they may quickly do a search through the book. And that, again, they're spending time by searching the book. The research assistant encourages them to perhaps generate some concepts for a chapter that they're looking at, and kind of look into some more of those concepts. So the research assistant, again, is automatically enabled on eligible books and can be found on either the left side of the screen if you're viewing a PDF, or on the right side of the screen if we're viewing an EPUB. So the EPUB format is the example that you're seeing on your screen here. Uh, it is, again, only available for books included in your library's eBook Central subscriptions or those purchased by your institution. If you come across a title and the research assistant isn't available, it may be because your library hasn't enabled the tool, or it could be that the book isn't part of your library's collection, or the publisher has chosen to opt out. And the publisher opt-out can be at the publisher level, it can be at the author level, or it can be at the title level. So first, you're going to see our little purple box here on the right. First, you're going to see an overview of the book, and the overview of the book is not AI generated. This overview is the same description that you see on the book details page. So getting into the research assistant, we see the two options down there at the bottom. And the first one is to show key takeaways from this chapter. So the key takeaways are generated from each chapter within the book, and again are intended to help a user understand what the chapter is about in an easy to understand way to kind of quickly help them determine its relevance for their specific research. The eBook Central Research Assistant runs on eBook Central content only. The information provided is based on the actual book chapter that we're currently viewing. We're not using any public large language models to generate this. And this is not a summary of the chapter, but pulls out key themes or key takeaways from the chapter and why these topics are significant. And then the next thing is the show key concepts. And again, we're going to see this live in action as well. But is to generate the key concepts for the selected chapter, we would click on show concepts discussed in this chapter to generate a response for this particular chapter. So concepts and their explanations are identified within the book chapter. This is a list of the top 5 concepts that are relevant in the context of the chapter. The identified concepts, that could be names, places, topics. It's going to include an explanation of the term that's relevant to the chapter. So the definition for each term is not coming from external sources, but it's generated using the text of the chapter with the goal of explaining the concept in the context of the chapter. You'll see each concept is hyperlinked so that users can run a search on any individual term by clicking on it. So if they click on that little magnifying glass, that'll run a search in a new window. So I just want to briefly touch on how to turn off the research assistant. Again, this was automatically enabled for all institutions. There was multiple communications sent out to libraries beforehand about being able to turn off the research assistant. Institutions may want to turn it off still, but that can be done in the Lib Central account. So your library administrator, or if you're the administrator of Lib Central, you can log in. If you select settings from the very top menu and then select system settings, you will see underneath like waitlist and the open access collection, you'll see their research assistant. You would just uncheck that, click on Save Settings, and that would disable the Research Assistant. If you decide you want to turn it back on, you would follow the same steps, and that would enable, by checking the box and clicking on Save Settings, you could enable the Research Assistant. So very easy to turn on and off. So before we jump over into the live session here, I want to also talk about EPUB Preferred and digital accessibility. EPUB Preferred, this just launched on May 1st. And these, just to kind of go into some of the reasons why EPUB Preferred was an initiative. So May 1st, the default online reading format is now EPUB. Before May 1st, the default reading format was PDF. So for titles that are available in both an EPUB format and a PDF format, when somebody went to click read online, the default would be the PDF format. Their EPUB preferred, this is a major initiative, means that around 1 million EPUBs currently only available for use via download will be rendered in Ebook Central for online reading. So EPUBs are rapidly becoming the default format for ebooks, and we're seeing more content from providers in this format. And switching the default online reading experience to EPUB means that we can better support the use of assistive technologies such as screen readers and reduce the need for the separate text-only mode. So there are some next step for libraries, and I will share this as well towards the end. Just to kind of get some of the FAQs, I'll send you the, I'll cover the FAQs as well. But one of the main questions is if, say that I'm a user and I already have some books saved in my bookshelf, or I've already made annotations, and those annotations are in the PDF format. If I go and click on the book to open it up, it's going to default to the PDF format because that's where my annotations are. If I'm a user and I'm browsing, I've not created any annotations, I've not saved something to my bookshelf, and I go to click on a read online, read the book, and it's available in EPUB format, then that EPUB format is going to be the default. But again, users, if they've created annotations, they're not going to lose those. They should be still seeing those if they open that up in the PDF format. And there is a toggle. Oh, just a couple more things to cover about EPUBs versus PDFs. Again, EPUB is becoming the preferred format because it has reflowable text, which allows content to adjust to different screen sizes. Users can change the font style, the font size, the style, and adjust the margins. EPUBs support embedded videos and audios and interactive elements. It's screen reader friendly, so it is designed with accessibility in mind, and EPUBs are easier to read by screen readers. Again, that adjustable text, and it does work with a variety of ebook platforms. So just kind of the difference. Again, both formats are still going to be there if a title has both formats, but the default when someone opens a book is going to be that EPUB format. And I'll show you this example as well when we get into the live portion, but users can switch between both formats if they would prefer to view it in a PDF, they can do that. And if they prefer to view it in EPUB, they can do that. So they will have the option to go back and forth between the two formats. But again, all titles, not all titles come in both formats. These are just for those titles that come in both formats. But we are seeing more and more publishers offering that EPUB format. And just some additional, I'll be sharing these slides with Devin as well. If you're curious to see how many titles your library has that are in EPUB format or PDF format, you can do that within LibCentral by running a report, and there is some more information about how to identify those titles in LibCentral. Okay, so let's take a look at Research Assistant in action and also the EPUB versus PDF. So give me just one moment here while I switch my screen. And I may need to refresh this. Sometimes it logs me out here. I'm going to go log back in there. Okay, hopefully you're seeing my Ebook Central homepage here now. I'm just going to select one of my titles from my recently viewed titles here. So I just want to point out here on the details page, you see that we have a description. Again, none of this has changed here. The description has always been there. On the right, if I click on show more, we have like our LC, usually there's LC subject headings. Oh, you'll see the subject headings down here. So all of that, none of that has changed. That is still all there. So when I go to click read online, you're going to see that this is the EPUB format. And one of the ways I can always tell is because the tab opens up here on the right versus the left. But, you know, EPUB format has that two-page view here. Let me jump down to so it has, you know, this two-page view. You know, I have all the things that I could do in my PDF format as well. I can do annotations, things like that. But you'll notice that my research assistant automatically pops up here on the right. This is the default. Again, it's automatically going to pop up. If you do not see this, you do not see this little circle with the stars, that means that research assistant is not available on that particular title. Before we jump into Research Assistant, I just want to go to the book details page here. And on the book details tab here, you can see where you can switch to that PDF format. So if I switch to PDF, you'll see that my Research Assistant and, you know, search within and all of that stuff is on the left. And you can see this is the layout of the PDF format. And again, if I go to my book details, I can quickly switch back to EPUB. If you have, and this is covered in the FAQs as well, but I'll just mention, if you have, you know, say faculty members or, you know, in their learning management systems, if they've linked to a particular title within Ebook Central, if they've linked to the PDF version and somebody goes to click on the link that they've shared, the PDF version is going to be what opens up. Also the same if they've linked to the EPUB version, it's going to open up the EPUB version. The only thing we're suggesting is if there are written instructions, like in a syllabi that says, you know, it's just written, it's not a link that says go to this book and, you know, read pages 40 to 45. The page numbering is different in an EPUB versus a PDF because again of the two-page layout. So we're just suggesting if you're saying that, it really is better to say go read chapter 3 or, you know, this section of chapter 4. And again, I'll show you where those FAQs are, but that really is one of the only things to kind of keep an eye on. Again, if they're using those permalinks, if they've used a permalink within Ebook Central, it's still going to work. It's going to go to wherever they've directed it to go. It's just if it's somebody's written it out or typed out instructions without including a link. Um, if somebody goes and opens up the EPUB, the page numbering is going to be different than if they're viewing the PDF. Okay, so Research Assistant here, again, it automatically pops up here on the right for me. I can close this out. I can go to my book details. I can go to my table of contents here and jump down to a chapter. I still have the ability to search within the book. You know, all of that is still there. Let me just go back to my Research Assistant. So this description here is the same as what we saw on the previous page, on the book details page. So that is not AI generated. It's just it's just a copy of what was on the book details page. Also, as we scroll down, you'll see it says find insights. We're going to go to, well, we're at a particular chapter, but I'm going to go back and choose a particular chapter here. Let me bring up my table of contents and let's go. We'll just choose this chapter 2 here. So I'm on chapter 2. If I go back to my research assistant, this is where I can do this show key takeaway from this chapter. So again, the key takeaway is a summary of the chapter that we're currently viewing. It's giving us a brief overview of the focus, the topic or topics raised, and why it might be relevant for further assessment and study. Right now, if you see something, again, because this is in beta, I've ran across a couple where I've clicked on, show me the key takeaways, and this may be blank. So if I do run across anything like that, I will typically hit the thumbs down. There's no way to actually enter text right now in this feedback, but that could be changing. But if I think, oh, this looks great, I want to offer feedback and I like this, I can, select that I like it. So again, if you want to give feedback, whether good or bad, you can do that with the thumbs up or thumbs down. You can also copy this. So if we copy, we can copy that to our clipboard and paste that into a Word document. As far as citing, institutions have different policies on how to cite AI. So if somebody were to copy this key takeaway and they wanted to cite it, we're recommending it really is best to ask a librarian at the institution, ask the faculty member. The goal here really is not for this to be used like that, but if they want to use it, they can, but we're not offering a way to, how do I cite this? Because again, institutions have some different policies on that. Somebody asked, did you say the page numbers were different depending on the format? Won't that mess up any citation? Well, so if they're citing, so if they're using the PDF, it would cite the PDF, and if they're using the EPUB, it would cite the EPUB. The only thing, so is if somebody has used, again, so yes, I'm trying to figure out the best way to put that. So yes, if they have a citation that's that they've used previously and it's just written out, so it's not using a permalink to link to the particular book, then yes, that could mess that up. But I will share the FAQs and some of the things that we're suggesting be done in those instances. But very good question. Okay, so here's our show key takeaways, and then here's our yes. So yes, so that would mean they would have to specify which version they use. Yes, and when you actually there's a prefix or it could be suffix. There's a way, a prefix or suffix in order to show which version you're using, whether it's the PDF or EPUB. And when we move over to the FAQs, I'll kind of show you what that looks like. So the show concepts is the next feature of the Research Assistant. So the concepts, this is a list of concepts discussed in the chapter and then additional definitions. And again, the definitions are being pulled from the text from the chapter itself. So here we have, Earth, sun, atmosphere, oceans. And again, the definition is being pulled from the chapter. It's not coming from an outside source. And we can choose to search on any of these. Probably if I search Earth, that's going to be a very big result. But we can, let's see if we search this El Nino. If we run a search, it's going to open that in a new window. And this is only searching the collection that I have access to. So if you're at a different institution, you may see more or less book results. Again, it's not going to point you to any books that your institution or that you don't have access to. It's only going to search your collection, whether that's subscription and or owned titles. So again, we can choose to run those. There are the like or dislike option here, as well as the option to copy that. Now I can go to a different chapter here. If I go, we'll go into Space Weather, Chapter 8. And I can do the same thing here. If I pull up my research assistant, you'll see the headline here. It shows me which chapter I'm looking at, this Space Weather. And I can show the key takeaway here. And then also the concepts. And I just want to show that as you're doing this, you can scroll all the way back up to the beginning, and then you can kind of see which chapters you've looked at. So I did chapter 2, I did key takeaways and concepts for chapter 2, and then I can scroll down and see that I did key takeaways and concepts for chapter 8. And if I jumped back up to, let's say, chapter 5, it's going to put all of those in order here for me. So you see there's chapter 8, and if I go, here's chapter 5. So you can kind of see a scrolling, keep track of the key takeaways and key concepts that you've looked at for individual chapters. So if I'm a user and I'm looking at this book and a different user comes in and looks at this book, they're going to get the same information. They're going to get the same key takeaways. They're going to get the same key concepts because, again, it's pulling from that chapter information. If I go back out to my ProQuest eBook Central and I go back into this book, the same user, you'll see that my key takeaways and everything that I did before are gone. I would have to get my key takeaways and my key concepts again for particular chapters. So it's just being displayed as you're working within the title or the chapter itself. I did just want to show, let me go to the book details and we'll switch to the PDF here. You'll see that you have the same options here. Let me we'll jump to chapter 3 and bring up my research assistant. And it's just going to be on the left-hand side versus that right-hand side. If I go into this permalink here, give me just 1 second, sorry. I wanted to go down and go to this while we're looking at it here. Okay, so and this is shared in the at the end of my slideshow, these specific links to these FAQs, but how will deep linking be supported? I just wanted to show there are the syntax for the different formats. So you'll see UERG for PDF, and then this RVB VQG for EPUB. So when I went to go share that EPUB, you see that UERG there at the end. So that is kind of a good way to know that that's going to be the PDF version. And if I go back, sorry, if I go switch back here, if I go back to my EPUB version, and I want to share this. Oh, let me go. Let me get my share here. There's my site. Oh, there we go. You'll see that, let's see. Oh, that's not where is my permalink? Sorry. Things get switched up on me. And well, I wanted to find the permalink for that, and for some reason it's not where I normally see it. Okay, sorry about that. I don't want to download it. I want that permalink, and for some reason, I am not seeing where that is. Um, so would it download as PDF or when you download it, it's still going to download as PDF. Now there is I don't want to get too much into downloading just because that's essentially things are going to change when the app is launched, but it should download as the PDF. So you can still do your your copies and you can also download chapters and things like that as you were able to before. But this download soon with the app, the Adobe Digital Editions will be going away, and then and there will be an app that you can use like on your iPhone, Android, laptop, iPad, etc. But I'm gonna have to, I will send Devin an email about this permalink for the EPUB version because for some reason I'm just not finding it where it usually is. I'm kind of at a loss here. Sorry about that. Um, okay, so let me go back to just this title and we'll bring up the research assistant. And I want to answer any questions about the research assistant before I move on to showing kind of some of those FAQs for both the research assistant and the EPUB preferred. Okay, I'm not seeing anything. Okay, and just a note, if you go, let me go to one that I think is just, nope. I wanted to go to one that was just one version here. Nope, that one's, I thought I had one that was just PDF. Okay, so this one is just a PDF version. So you see when I go into the book details page, you don't see that toggle. So this one is only PDF. It's not offered in both the formats. So if it's one that's only offered in the PDF format, then the PDF format's going to be again the one that opens. The EPUB preferred is for those that are in both the EPUB and PDF format. The EPUB is going to be the one that opens automatically. Okay, let me, at the end of these slides, I do have links to these that you'll be able to click on, but let me go into, sorry, I have to keep minimizing this here. We do have our eBook Central LibGuide And at the top, we've actually added a new section here that typically wasn't there, but it's Ebook Central News because, again, we have a lot of things happening. We had Ebook Central launch. Uh, again, May 1st, EPUB Preferred happened. So we do have some links to the FAQ articles, as well as some short tutorials for anyone interested, or if you want to share any of these, you are free to share the links. I'll first show you the FAQs for the eBook Central Research Assistant, just some questions that those may have. How do you access it? How you disable it. Again, we kind of cover this by going into Lib Central. Which titles that you're going to see eBook Central Research Assistant on. Um, right now, one of the big questions I get is, can you run any reports on Research Assistant as far as being able to see, who's using it right now? No. Doesn't mean to say, again, that that may not come in the future because, again, this is beta. So we may see some changes to that later on. Just information about, like, if you don't see any takeaways or concepts, some of those reasons why you may not see that. And just some additional, uh, here, what are the guidelines for citing AI generated responses? And again, it's just saying that at launch, users will not be able to cite the research assistant's output, but it is, we're actively working on expanding that functionality. And to please share your ideas on the Idea Exchange. This is a great thing with eBook Central is this Idea Exchange, because you can come in here and you can see ideas that other librarians or institutions have submitted. You can vote on whether you or not you want to see that happen. The product team for eBook Central does look at this religiously. So if there are new ideas, or if you have an idea that you don't see on here, or a change that you would like to see, you can kind of see if something has a lot of votes. You'll see, that it's under review. And they have made changes based on the ideas that are suggested here in the Idea Exchange. So you can kind of see if you've submitted something, what the status is of that, things like that. So just want to point that out, that the Idea Exchange is a great place to submit your ideas. We also have a link to the EPUB Preferred. Let me scroll back up here since I had scrolled down. There are a lot of questions about the EPUB Preferred, and so here are the EPUB Preferred FAQs, why it was being done, and really one of the main reasons it's being done is because of accessibility. What does that mean for librarians? Why are we making this change? The benefits of EPUB versus PDF. And then probably what you want to look at the most are the librarian experience here for Lib Central. Will there be any changes? You don't need to make any adjustments, but these are just some things. Again, if you have a faculty member that has written out reading lists versus using that permalink, that's where they may see students saying, well, I went to that and it wasn't the right chapter. If you're curious in identifying the PDFs in your catalog that will switch to EPUB, you can generate a list of that within libcentral. And again, libcentral, this is the link here on how to identify those titles. And again, you can run a report in libcentral. You'll see here, you can run by format, and you can see those that are both PDF and EPUB. So again, if they're both PDF and EPUB, those are the ones that are going to be affected, because those are going to be the ones, again, that are going to default open into that EPUB. So you can get a list of those. Right now, that list is probably not very long. But as publishers, again, start to make their preferred format EPUB, we're going to see more and more titles being offered in both of those formats or just in the EPUB format. So there are those FAQs. And again, let me just share this because I'm going to be sharing these slides with Devin. there are links to the ebook Central Assistant FAQ, the EPUB Preferred FAQ, and both the ebook Central LibGuide as well as the Lib Central LibGuide. And both of those LibGuides have the information about EPUB Preferred. Are there any other questions? I haven't seen any other questions come in, but I do have a note to myself to about the permalink function in the EPUB Preferred. So I will make sure that I send that to Devin when I send her my slides as well.
All right. Well, thank
No
you so
question.
much, Lori. Folks, do we have any questions? Feel free to send them in the chat or unmute yourself. Tomorrow afternoon, you will receive the link to the recording with these slides and a feedback survey. Please share in that feedback survey any resource training you'd like to see this summer or really for the rest of the calendar year. We want to make sure our training program is as responsive to the needs of our member libraries as possible.
And like I said, the app is coming, and I'm sure I'll be reaching out to Devin to do some specific training for NC Live for the app for sure. So that will be in the future.
Sounds great.
All
Thanks,
right.
Lori.
All
All
right.
right,
Thanks so
y'all.
much.
Take care. Have a good rest of your Monday.